Hi, I'm Shaylin Caulfield and I founded BraveheartsNI when I was 14 years old. Growing up, I always knew I had a heart condition. Major plot line in my life. 3 open heart surgeries by the time I was 14. Growing up in paediatric care, you all in and out of hospital all the time. As a kid, if your mum says you're okay, then you believe you're okay. But when you get older and you have your own thought process and your ability and access to information, and all of a sudden you're 14 years old, you're being told you're in heart failure and you're not going to be in the paediatric ward anymore, you're going to be with the adults. So when I went into heart failure when I was 14, that's when I was introduced to the wonderful, albeit young, ACHD team in Belfast, at the Royal Victoria in Belfast. They were phenomenal with all the information they could give us, like Dr. Lockhart as well himself. He explained everything so well, and that helped. But when I was told I was in heart failure, I was Googling heart failure and lifespan of heart failure. So I was sat there in a hospital bed 14 thinking I only had 2 to 3 years to live. It wasn't until we realised how many other people my age have went through the same process of going from either knowing they have a heart condition and that really great paediatric care and that's something you're used to, then being thrown into the adult wards in the side room, very clinical room, very isolating experience. And I was sat there with my mum and my wonderful supportive family, my iPad mini that Heartbeat NI, the original children's heart charity in Northern Ireland, donated to me. And that's when Bravehearts was born.
So my name is Jan and I'm one of the adult congenital heart disease nurse specialists. Whenever I took up post, I met a mother of a patient in the ward, and we got to talking and we realised that it was very much needed. There was a charity needed for all sorts of things that helped benefit the patient experience, things that were outside the remit probably of the National Health Service funding. Bravehearts has also provided equipment for the adult congenital service, things like laptops for us to use if we're working remotely or working off-site. It's provided iPads for Linda and myself, which have been invaluable. Whenever someone is admitted, we will ask them, you have to get patient permission, so we'll ask them would they like to be referred to Bravehearts, which is a charity that works with our patients, and invariably they say yes. So then we will put them in contact with Bravehearts representative, either Kerry or Emma or yourself or Claire. And Bravehearts has been really supportive to all of those patients, and they're all saying that. They're all saying without them it would have been a lot more difficult. So we really appreciate that as a team, that you're doing that for our patients.
Hi, I'm Megan Reid and I'm a 21-year-old psychology student from Ballymena. I've always known about Bravehearts, especially here in Ballymena, but I've known them from Claire and Shaylin. I've known them my whole lives, and they weren't really like a strong thing to me until I really needed them. And I didn't realise how much I needed them until I started my journey with congenital heart disease.
The first memory I have of Megan's journey would have been with the radiologist. We sat with the radiologist and we're expecting him to say, yes, there's a little murmur there, not really expecting much more than that.
And then he said, a cardiologist will be in touch and you'll be referred to one and you'll see what happens then from there. And I was like, what's a cardiologist?
Bravehearts were absolutely amazing throughout this journey. If I needed anything, I just lifted the phone, asked Claire all the questions, all the medical jargon that I didn't understand, and what's next, what happens next. And Claire was able to brief me on absolutely everything, and her knowledge was just fantastic. And just to have her there, to know that Bravehearts is just, everybody needs a Claire, and they need Bravehearts to support them throughout this journey.
I come to know about Bravehearts through Emma, my sister, who was born with congenital heart disease. So Emma would have been up in the Royal Victoria Hospital a lot. That was sort of her second home. And then Braveheart then was like her second family. Emma loved life. Emma loved her 2 nephews, Jack and Riley. She loved Christmas. She loved shopping. For a sick girl, there's nobody could have kept up with her walking around shops and shopping, and Emma had a great love for life, and I suppose the only holdback she had was her heart condition, but she still went on with it, and she still had a big love for life and all the people who was close to her, you know. Well, Jennifer Hannah would have been Emma's sort of closest go-to girl, because you would have always heard Emma talk about Jennifer Hannah, and Jennifer was so good and kind to Emma, and times whenever we couldn't have been here, Jennifer would have popped in, said hello, would have been texting her, messaging her, you know, and Emma felt very close with Jennifer. And I suppose with Jennifer having a heart condition herself, they both could relate to where me or Emma or, you know, other people outside of the wee circle wouldn't have understood. I think as a family as a whole, we all still felt Emma always outdid the odds. Emma always come home to Fermanagh, and sort of on this particular time, Emma never come home, you know. I know she passed away with her family around her, and you know, sorry. January the 14th, 2018 was a day we weren't expecting, the day Emma passed away, and I suppose it was a shock for everybody. I think even for the hospital staff and, you know, the family, like we just weren't expecting it, you know, Emma to pass away. And look at, suppose we then had to make the long journey back to Fermanagh, but Braveheart didn't stop then. Braveheart was still there for us as a family. They aftercare after Emma passed, and even up until this day, Claire and, you know, other people, if they're in contact and seeing how we are, you know, and that just proved to me Braveheart's not really a charity, it's like a big family really, you know. And when Emma passed away, like, I know they helped with the headstone for Emma, and, you know, on her wee headstone it says Braveheart, and, you know, and what they did, like, I'll be forever grateful, and my family as well, to Braveheart and everyone involved in it, you know.
My name is Aidan Evans. I'm 23 years of age, but it was only at the age of 15 that I was officially diagnosed with pulmonary arterial hypertension.
It is a stressful thing as a family. It's hard watching your own child, you know, suffer.
So on a personal level, life was very lonely for me. The effects of my pulmonary arterial hypertension and the effects of the medication pretty much made me a prisoner in my own home, and that really affected me mentally. It led me down a sort of a bad route mentally, to the point that I started to actually, I began to isolate myself from the people around me. I isolated myself from my friends, my family, because I didn't want to create collateral damage if I were to lose my life on the journey to or through transplantation.
We were very lucky in that we got the result that we were hoping for. It was a close call, you know. We were told we were probably within a week of he had not been fit for transplant.
But when I did get that call for the organs that night, it was a sense of relief. I knew that it was either the end of a struggle, a hard struggle, or it was the beginning of something that I'd make sure to become special.
It's just been a huge weight lifted from us. As I said, every day is a day that we shouldn't have. Every day is a miracle. 14 weeks post-transplant, I feel absolutely amazing. My mental health has definitely improved. Just over the weekend I attended a football match
Tomorrow we're going to see the Belfast Giants. I've got a concert in December, I've got rugby in November. So things are looking up, yeah. Travel, maybe go swimming as well. Can finally hold my breath.
I suppose the way I summed Bravehearts and your mum up was they're community heroes. That's the best way to sum them up. Because it's not just our family, but all the other families that they've helped. So, community heroes.
So now that you've got to know a little about our Braveheart families, how can you help us? Within BraveheartsNI, every penny and every volunteer is precious to us. We are so bad at asking for help, so I'm putting it out to you. How can you help us? How can you help us support all the families that you saw here tonight and many, many, many hundreds more? How can you help us support them in these journeys that they are about to embark upon? Maybe it's doing the marathon for us, an egg and spoon race, having something at your school, asking your employers for us to be your charity of the year. Whatever it is, we are so grateful for anything. Please get in touch with BraveheartsNI and please your help. Thank you.